And welcome to your midweek First Alert Weather Plus forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Rachel Garceau. Let's start with what's on the way. The name of the game this week, and in fact through the end of May on Saturday, is blazing sunshine and scorching heat. So hot, in fact, that by Saturday we may end up with record-setting temperatures. If this is just too much, too soon, you miss your typical spring-like weather, don't worry. A cool down does start on Sunday, and it will end up being pretty significant. We'll drop 30 degrees in the span of just a few days across southern Idaho. But in the meantime, we do have first alert weather conditions in play for Saturday, as that will be the peak of this heat wave. Scorching heat. We talked about record high temps that look likely. So let's walk through the places most likely to see record high temperatures on May 31st. Boise's record for the end of May is 98 degrees. Right now I'm forecasting 99 on Saturday afternoon. Look at Emmett, potentially up to 102 degrees on Saturday, shattering, if we get there, the previous record of 98. Twin Falls into the 90s would shatter the record of 89 degrees that is currently in place. Even Stanley, with a record currently of 84 for the last day of May, could set a record with a forecast high right now of 85. The other headline is that we could see triple-digit heat in other places like Nampa, Glens Ferry, and Mountain Home. Remember, normally we are in the mid-70s as we head into the end of May and early June, so this is very unusual. But the good news is, like I said, that heat doesn't stick around much longer. By Sunday, we're in much more comfortable territory. But for some perspective, as we look at forecast high temperatures across the country on Saturday, Boise's 99 degrees, one of the hottest places across the entire U.S. Phoenix, Arizona will be at 100, so we're on par with Phoenix. You can see across the rest of the South, 80s and 90s, but still our unusual warmth, possible record-setting warmth, one of the hottest places in the country. So remember, all the summertime reminders come into play when we have heat like this, which again is so unusual for this time of year. Never, ever, ever leave your kids or pets in a hot car. Not at all, not even for a minute, as temperatures can climb so quickly. When the outside air temperature is 95 degrees, hotter than will be, or not even as hot as will be on Saturday, that car temperature can reach 115 in just 10 minutes, up to 130 degrees in half an hour. When you get closer to the triple digits after 30 minutes, we're at 135 degrees. It only takes 10 minutes for the interior of that car to hit 120. Even with the windows cracked, it doesn't do enough to keep that air temperature down. So if you love your pets enough to have them with you at all times, also know when it's time to leave them home, and always check the back seat before you get out of the car if you're running errands with those kids. The other thing to mention, I know pools open this week. Neighborhood pools have been open for a little while. UV index will be something to really be mindful of in the coming days. We're expected to stay in very high UV index category 8 to 10. So if you can at all limit your exposure from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., the hottest part of the day. SPF 30 or greater is recommended. Reapply it every hour if you are swimming. It only takes about 15 minutes to sunburn unprotected skin when the UV is above 8. So just something, again, to be mindful of. Make sure you have lots of water, lots of sunscreen, and seek out shade as often as you can over the next several days. So let's talk about that upper level pattern and what's coming our way. Again, high pressure in control through Saturday. Will reach its peak on Saturday. Temperatures may dip a bit on Friday because of a system coming through Thursday. Not enough really to put a damper on the heat. We'll still be up near 90 to wrap up the work week. So Saturday, our hottest day. Then here comes a system that will start making its approach on Sunday. We could see a couple stray showers in the higher elevations. Really, the bigger headline for the lower elevations is that temperatures will drop by 15 to nearly 20 degrees from Saturday to Sunday. That will take our highs into just the low 80s on Sunday, much more comfortable. Monday, the core of this system starts to drop in, so this will likely trigger some isolated showers and storms. It'll keep breezy winds in play. Temperatures will drop another 10 degrees. Tuesday, we lose even more warmth. Tuesday ends up being the coolest day of the extended period. Highs will struggle to get out of the 60s in the Treasure Valley after being up near 100 on Saturday. Kind of some head-spinning changes coming our way. This system will slowly move out Thursday into Friday next week. So Monday through Wednesday, There's a chance of seeing some isolated showers and storms. Precipitation, not the big headline with this system. It really is a cool down, but certainly is a possibility. We could have some active weather. And then later in the week, next week, we start seeing things warm up just a touch as high pressure starts to build in slightly for the end of the work week. It looks like the first full week of June will be a bit of a roller coaster ride as far as those temperatures go. All right, let's get to your extended forecast. 7-day outlook for Long Valley. Tons of sunshine and heat through Saturday. Mountain locations mid to upper 80s. As we kick off the weekend and wrap up the month of May. Significantly cooler Sunday with low 70s. We're in the low 60s in the mountains on Monday. Upper 50s with a chance of those isolated showers on Tuesday. And then already by Wednesday, we're rebounding back into the mid 60s. Look at those morning lows, though. Upper 30s Tuesday and Wednesday morning as the core of that cold air starts to make its way through. 7-day outlook for the Magic Valley. Heat really is a headline through Saturday. Much like the rest of the area, will be into the 90s to kick off the weekend, down into the low 80s with gusty winds on Sunday as that system makes its approach. Another front comes through Monday, taking us to the low 70s in Twin Falls. Monday afternoon, chance of some showers lingers through Wednesday, and temperatures land in just the upper 60s by the middle of the week next week. All right, let's talk about Boise's outlook. We did mention, of course, that record-setting potential for Saturday, First Alert Weather Day, because of the extreme heat, unseasonable heat that goes away on Sunday. Cold front number 1 comes in, taking us down into the low 80s. Again, that's almost a 20-degree temperature drop. Even more comfortable on Monday, breezy with a chance of showers. Tuesday likely carries our greatest likelihood of precipitation, but even then, just some hit or miss showers on Tuesday. Temperatures remain the big headline, especially with those brisk northwest winds. So a cool day on Tuesday. Good news is by Wednesday, we're starting to climb back closer to average in the low 70s. Looks like we may hit even the low 80s again by the end of next week. All right, thanks so much for tuning in to this First Alert Weather Plus forecast. We'll see you next time.